Very nice. Welcome everybody to Sam and Simon's special soprano saxophone show.
Hey!
I'm just seeing how many S's I can start with every week. We're going to talk today about Aizen soprano sax mouthpieces with myself and Simon. Obviously, Aizen, Japanese-made mouthpieces, professional mouthpieces for saxophone. We've been selling them for a good number of years in the UK here at Dawkes. Probably 10, crikey, maybe more years than that now. They do the whole range, soprano down to baritone, but we are here to talk soprano. Simon's with us with his soprano chops. He's put his correct soprano teeth in and everything. There's two models we're going to look at. The LS, which is based on a sort of old Link vibe, 50s and 60s Link vibe, larger chamber, longer facing. And then there's an SO, which I'll give you one guess, well done, soloist kind of vibe. And we're going to try that one second. But like usual, Simon's going to demo, and then I'm going to get your thoughts, because these have got a particular kind of vibe, haven't they?
Yeah. This is the LS, is it?
This is the LS in a 7.
First car I ever had was an Audi 80 LS.
There you go.
So you never know, yeah. It's a 7.
Was it as smooth as this? We're going to find out.
It's got a nice mellow vibe to it. You know, it's obviously quite an open chamber. Yeah, I do like it. It's a sweet sound.
Yes. Who would have thought you could produce a sweet sound?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite famous for the fact that on soprano I use the mouthpiece which came with it, a Yamaha 4C, and that kind of does everything I sort of want to do it. A slight disclaimer there is I've tried other 4Cs and they're not as good as the one I've got. So if I lose that, I'm in trouble. Yeah, I mean it's compared to the one I'd normally use, it's much more polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. It's definitely a ligature that you're going to blend with a
mouthpiece.
Sorry, it is a mouthpiece.
Remember why you're here. Come on.
It's definitely a mouthpiece that that you're going to blend in with other people. Playing in an ensemble.
I think, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think it's really warm, really beautiful sound. But some things can sound dull. Warm can err into dull sometimes on certain instruments. Not on this, I don't think, and certain mouthpieces. But soprano, by its nature, as we all know, can be a little bit barky, a little bit overly.
Yeah, can be.
One could say. And I would say if that's something you're battling with in life, then this might not be a bad solution, because I think it takes what can be a slightly barky instrument in soprano, and it allows that journey to mellow to become a little more achievable. Yeah,
I mean, I guess actually, I thought of quite a good analogy. It's like me on tenor putting a Link tone edge ebonite mouthpiece on.
Okay, yeah.
That's kind of the equivalent for me, because, you know, if I want to play quietly and you know, a bit of Glenn Miller or something like that, I will always put a Link tone edge on. And this is a very similar vibe in terms of soprano, obviously. That's what it is. It's a quiet mouthpiece with great warmth to it.
Yeah, and I think if you're playing some beautiful jazz or something pretty sounding and you're recording it nicely in a studio where everything could be controlled with the sound, I think it would sound fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd want to be out having to really project a soprano solo through something on that. It's not quite, I don't think it's the right thing.
No,
for
but
it,
I mean, you know, for classical stuff, that sort of thing, it's got a beautiful tone. I think that's the appropriate mouthpiece for that sort of thing.
And so do you, sir. That's, you know, 99.9% of the tone is the mouthpiece, but the other 0.1% will attribute to Simon. No.
Thank you very much.
We're going to try the SO next, which is the soloist-inspired one, and we're going to be back and we'll hear how that differs in just a second. And there we go, that's the SO, also in a tip opening of a 7. I mean, hopefully you can hear there's a fair difference, I think, between the two.
Yeah, vast difference. I mean, I'm feeling that there's a massive difference.
Yeah.
This probably is much more like the mouthpiece I normally play.
So in terms of being a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more edge to give to it compared to the LS, which was much more warm and fluffy, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So for me, a brighter response, kind of easier to play. You know, you can fill it up with air, and it's not going to it's not going to stop or deteriorate.
Yeah,
sound's going to work. Yeah,
it's interesting that even just I can tell how you react within a second or two of blowing it. Okay. No, like what the mouthpiece lends itself towards, because when you feel something's softer and prettier, you're playing. I don't just mean in the tone, but in the choice of notes, the choice of phrasing, the choice of everything. Whereas when something feels it can give you a bit more, you push it a different way.
Yeah.
Just actually, I wouldn't mind another little demo of that. In terms of the bottom end as well, because it's got that fullness, I think, to soprano, which you still want to retain, don't you? You know, it is lively soprano. There should be a little bit of a bite to it, perhaps. I don't know. So, let's see what we think.
It's got a very, very full, easy bottom end.
Yeah.
That's something that I think is very important with a soprano mouthpiece, because, you know, whilst you do want to have a good top end as well. You know, to play well across the whole range is really important for me.
And it doesn't go barky. Like I said before, they can get a bit kind of nasally sounding, can't they, down there? Actually, what I would just as someone listening to it, I would say this SO feels like it's got two ends. It's a bit more bright and sparkly at the top, whereas it's a bit wider and darker at the bottom. Whereas I think the LS had a very similar tone quality throughout.
Right.
It was more even in a way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying one thing's better or worse than the other, but the LS sounded similar all the way through, whereas I think that was a mouthpiece of two sides. I hope people know what I'm saying. Sometimes you find instruments and mouthpieces like that, don't you? Where they accentuate one end of the horn and the other one in a different way, and others where you blow it and it literally just sounds very similar from top to bottom. So that might just depend on what you like and whether you like the sound of the two. Yeah. We'll just say now, Simon's been using a Van Doren ZZ 3.5 reed on this test, and the BG Duo Soprano ligature. Which is a fantastic ligature and tends to fit pretty much everything, so that's worth checking out if you're looking at ligatures. And you're on your Yamaha 875 custom soprano with various mods. Maybe we'll do a video about the mods one day.
Yeah, actually, there's not a lot done on this apart from the neck screw and one of those tone tablets that I've put in there.
Yeah.
But apart from that, and thumb resting.
Yeah,
you know, all right, maybe yes.
And the other 5 things somewhere hidden. The magic thing he keeps hidden up the inside, the intonator. But anyway, that's it for us today on mouthpieces. Do check out the Aizen range of soprano mouthpieces and all the other mouthpieces that we stock at Dawkes. We can help you wherever you may be with a mouthpiece. But Simon, could you give us a little bit more just to blow us out? Good man.